China? Is it the next superpower, and why should we care? By Brittany Austin,
Paul Bowman,
and Harrison Smith.
Hi, this is Brittany Austin, and today I'm going to be discussing why we should really care about China. I want to first touch on the fact that China holds almost 1/5 of the world's population, with a total near 1.3 billion people. Over 160 cities in China have more than 1 million people living in them. That's larger than any other country in the world. China is a master for economy and industry, with Chinese economy second in size only to the United States. China has a future predicted to be the biggest economy in 2020. The West is very dependent upon China, and we can see this through the import of clothes, cars, electronics, and basically everything. China is also slowly beginning to buy up Africa to fill their natural resource needs. The environment is another issue we should care about in China. The air quality is just bad. From over 1,000 new cars hitting the roads every day in Beijing, to the deforestation and the development of factories that fuel the amount of smog and carbon dioxide in China. Communism is another reason we should care about China. The party runs every facet of life in China. Along with that, there are no elections in China to create changes that the mass of people want. There are many reasons why we should care about China, and this is just an introduction of why they could or could not be the next superpower.
Hi, I'm Paul Bowman, and I want to talk about China's rise in power and how they can become a world power. And of course, we've all heard these claims of China's rise in power, how they're going to threaten, become the next world superpower. And I wanted to demonstrate how this is a very likely possibility. It's very possible. I first want to talk about their economy, how China has a fast-growing economy, a strong economy, one that rivals many of the Western powers, such as America and the EU, and doesn't really show any sign of slowing at all, anytime soon anyways. They also have their industrial sector, which bolsters their economy, and it's strong, and they have plenty of people in it. The next thing I want to talk about was their military. For a while, all the Chinese military really had for it was its large population. China has a large population, and that really helps them, and specifically with their military, is all they had going for them. But now they've got technology that matches those of the U.S. and other world powers, and they have training to match. Their international influence they've expanded more beyond just their own backyard. They've really reached on a global scale, particularly in Africa. They have a strong influence there, and they've been able to stand toe-to-toe in the global community with such organizations as the UN, and really been able to match any other world power, honestly. And so really, I guess the question is, what is holding them back? And because it sounds like they already are a superpower, really. But I think what really holds them back is the fact that they have these significant social issues that portray some instability. And so once they demonstrate that they can be stable, we're going to have to admit that they are a world power.
Will China become the next superpower? I believe that they won't. China has had a history of fallen dynasties and emperors. There has been never a stable rulership. The current government, the China's Communist Party, was formed in 1949 and has dealt with plenty of problems. The population has been one. There's too many people, and they've made laws on population. They've made laws on Western China, which doesn't want anything to do with Eastern China. They've made laws on education and health care. Not enough people are receiving enough education or receiving the health care that they need. The Chinese Communist Party has involved land grabs, which take away property rights from the Chinese people. They've ruined the environment, and they put laws on religion and internet, which has restricted the freedoms of many Chinese people. China has too many internal problems that they are putting under the blanket. They are restricting the freedoms of the Chinese people, and they're not taking care of them. And if they do not take care of the people within, how can they become a superpower? Because in the future, all these problems are going to explode, and China is not going to be able to grow economically because they have so many problems. And this is why China will not become a national superpower.